Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to talk about enhancing our instruction and adapting our workshops at NC State for our time-constrained learners, which is everybody we know. I'm going to talk a little bit about data science services in the NC State libraries, who we are, what we do. I'm going to talk about the need for our instruction as reflected through our program. I'll talk about our current workshop structure, some of the challenges that our learners and we face, and some of the solutions we've identified to sort of revamp our workshops. And then I'll provide some pithy conclusions and future work. So who are we? We're 6 full-time librarians, and we have 10 amazing graduate student consultants. And what we do is we support the entire data science lifecycle through specialized spaces, which have a specialized hardware and software stacks to support data analytics. We have the peer consulting support, which is performed by our graduate student consultants, and this supports all manner of tools and approaches that people doing data analytics may have questions about. And then we provide workshops on a variety of topics and tools. So we have a broad range of workshops that we can provide, but our 4 most popular are RStudio, Python, ArcGIS, and Data Visualization Studios. For R and Python, we provide an intro series, and then which is sort of basic, and then we have open labs, which can be intermediate to advanced. And we use our workshops as a conduit to our workshop participants to our consultants and our consulting service so that they have support once our workshops are done. So within our consulting program, R sees across modalities the highest number of requests. We take in-person and online consultations, drop-ins, and email questions. Enrollment in our workshops is pretty hardy. This is all over the place, but you can see the number of workshops in blue on top of the bar, which accounts for sort of the differentiation there, which I think is probably also a function of who had availability to give the workshops that semester. But our enrollment is also across our colleges and across the roles that we have at our university. So we've got faculty, staff, undergrads, all taking courses in our workshops and across different backgrounds. So the current curriculum, as I said before, is intra-course. This is for R and Python, and it has a series of 3 workshops. For R, we do it separate sessions, so you can sign up for 1 or 2. It's shopping basket type style. And then Python, the workshops are 3 sessions that you sign up for all 3 at once. And currently, it's a blend of introductory and somewhat intermediate material. And then we have our open labs, which are usually intermediate to advanced topics, and they'll be focused on a specific tool or a technique, something like that. They're usually 2 hours, and then we provide time at the end for people to work on project-specific work that they might have and use the tools for. So our participants have challenges that they face, and some are competing priorities. I think we can all understand that. They may be working, studying, they want to spend time with their families, and they're taking this workshop, maybe for curiosity, but for a lot of our students, they have an immediate need. They have to use this for something. They may have little or no programming in our intro series experience, and they may not have a lot of confidence in their skills coming in. So the challenges for us as creators are that we want to address the learners' challenges, but we may have a range of programming experience. We have these different backgrounds, which means that they may approach the material in a different way. This is the same for, like, if they're faculty, staff, or students. They may approach learning it in a different way. So we need to keep these in mind as we develop our workshops. So we were looking at feedback this year, and we wanted to see what people were saying. And on the whole, it's very flattering, but they did have some concerns. So for instance, the content was too advanced, but we also got it wasn't advanced enough. So there was obviously sort of a break in the spectrum. Some students wanted more sessions with less material in each session, which tracks, and some wanted more opportunities to practice the concepts, which I understand. So we decided we wanted to do not a huge overhaul, but just make a few changes to redesign our curriculum. So we wanted to start by better differentiating the material between beginner through intermediate to advanced. We wanted to align the material a little bit better, not only to this path, but also to each R and Python together. And we wanted to balance learning with fun, which always sounds like in the academic, we say, fun, no. Our learners are doing other things. We want them to have an opportunity to kind of, I'm not going to say chill, but to chill while they take our workshops a bit. So I am going to say chill. The elements of our redesign were that we decided to start with our intro series. That's where we had a lot of the, it's too advanced, it's not advanced enough. And then we created a language agnostic computing concepts course to provide students with an opportunity to see the material without having to worry about the details of the language. And then we aligned our R and Python intro workshops. And on top of that, we generated 2 NC State themed data sets. We wanted to kind of create a narrative that we could use to support our concepts. And we wanted to introduce a little bit of humor and fun and kind of reduce the stakes and pressure of the learning. Our language agnostic course provides participants with sort of a computational perspective and a vocabulary to reduce anxiety and frustration, improve troubleshooting skills. And I think we tend to think that this exists. We live in a very computational society, so we kind of expect this exists, but it doesn't for everybody. It's kind of all over the place with what people understand about computation and computers. So we also wanted to abstract high-level concepts from the language-specific details, like I said before, so that they could kind of have the vocabulary, have the context, and then we could filter them into the details. It provides a way, we hope, for students to practice computational thinking and could support not only future workshop participants who may go on to take our R and Python specific courses, but also maybe self-learners who don't have the time to take the workshops, but they still want that sort of jumping off point for their first programming course. The topics that we included in our course were just high level how computers work, the physical, and sort of the abstractive idea. Talking about, you know, the fact that they're layers, it's man-made, there are decisions made for this, and that it's part of programming, and that you will likely, you know, create your own layers of abstraction on top of this. And then the general programming concepts, variables, data types, data structures, operators, and then flow control, the different kinds, and why you would use one versus another. And then we also talk about anatomy of a function to provide students with a perspective not only for the functions that they'll use that are pre-written, but eventually to write their own. So we wanted to align our R and Python workshops with this agnostic material so that it would build upon and mirror the skills that were covered in the agnostic course, and then allow students to see the material more than one time, because sometimes that's all it takes to really help them make that leap to confidence. One fun part was creating some themed data sets. I generated 2. One was an interview hire database for the NC state live mascots, which was kind of fun. And then another was data concerning celebrities who graduated from NC State, which was also fun. And it was a combination of gathered data and synthetic data. So we could create data that did what we needed it to do. We wanted to use it to create a narrative around the data to introduce the computing concepts with the idea that it would be easier to follow if you know that you had this project or this idea that you're applying the concepts to, would be easier. So we hope that this reduces stress caused by learning new and technical concepts and by using humor to reduce the stakes. It will allow us also to introduce ideas of data provenance and lineage in a very high-level way, because we have to explain where this data came from. You know, we got it from some websites. Are those websites, are they giving us true information? We don't know. How would we find that out? So actually, the mascots we do know is actually pretty good data. But it would also allow us, for instance, for our intermediate and advanced classes to create columns that could address issues we wanted to tackle. Say we had a data cleaning class and we wanted to show what happens when you have a lot of NAs. We could throw in a column with a bunch of NAs, and there you can show what happens when that happens. So that's, in conclusion, we hope that these small changes, these are not huge changes, right? They're little changes, but we hope that they will answer some of the feedback that we got. We provide the first round of these updated workshops in fall 2025, and we're really excited to see the feedback. And the needs of our students and our participants really drive what we do in our workshops. So our goals are to help students and patrons explore secondary and tertiary goals beyond everything else they have in their life. It's to make connections with potentially other grad students, but our grad students specifically are consultants so that they have support for what they want to do in the future. And then to connect students and patrons with further resources to, again, help them with their goals. Some future work. We want to assess more rigorously what student goals are and how well we meet them. We want to, beyond that, identify what student goals we meet and which we don't. To continue to better differentiate the material in all our workshops and build more of a consistent path to cover beginner, intermediate, and advanced computational needs. And then, of course, we want to begin to introduce productive uses of AI into the programming workflow. Thank you. That's what I have. Thank you for your time. If you have questions or thoughts, I'd love to hear them.